Just give me a second. So I was talking to a friend yesterday about the importance of getting to know something before you hate on it, right? Obviously, there are things that you can hate without knowing them, like a serial killer, or an animal abuser, or a child pornographer. I think we can all agree that you don't need to sit down to tea with people like this in order to dislike them. Though as writers, we may find something in that tea time conversation that makes them into a well-rounded antagonist. Again, something most of us probably don't want to do. But I'm just going to go ahead and say it, okay? I'm going to say it, what we're all thinking, what we're all always thinking. I hate Goodreads. There. I said it. I realize this is like saying, I don't think Bradley Cooper is good looking. And I realize that for a reader and an aspiring author, this is probably the kiss of death. But so be it. You don't understand. I have tried to get into it. I've tried to give it a chance. And to be fair, I did find my new favorite YA series, Shades of London by Maureen Johnson, there 2 weeks ago. But there are so many things to hate about it. The layout, the font. Newsflash, the rest of the world uses sans serif fonts for a reason. The god-awful number of typos on the site. And for a site about reading, the number of typos I can find on just one page of Goodreads' own policies, not reviews, but the content that they post is ludicrous. Get a proofreader. My services are on the website. I cannot take a site seriously if it has that many typos. But most of it comes down, but you know, let's just pretend that I'm not some kind of writing elitist of sorts, grammar elitism. Let's get down to what really destroys Goodreads. I'm not entirely sure how to say this. Give me a second to like form it. I'm just gonna come out and say it. It's the people. The people suck. The people are what make Goodreads suck. As far as I could tell, most of the people who leave reviews on Goodreads fall into the following categories, and no excuse for your feelings. 1, people who spent most of middle school being shoved into lockers or trash cans, or both. 2, people who turn to Goodreads to torment people because if they didn't, they'd be well on their way to becoming serial killers, and no, I'm not having tea with you. 3, people who seriously need to go get lives, who need to go volunteer in soup kitchens or a humane society or see what life is really like outside of the 4-bedroom walls and that cover of the book that you decided you wanted to trash. And group number 4 is people who are so pathetic that the only way they can feel good about themselves is to bring others down. What's wrong with you? Hello, my name is Ian Kirkpattykake, and in case you didn't get the memo today, we're talking about Goodreads. Or rather, people who don't like Goodreads. Just so you know, that bit in the front was a monologue I got from a blog post. It is linked in the comments down below if you'd like to read it for yourself. A little bit of flavor added just for extra dramatism, dramatics. But we are going to look at some real... There are a lot of people that really hate, not necessarily Goodreads itself. They hate readers, and that's what really comes across in all of these rants that I found. They really hate readers, and that's what really comes across in all of these messages I found and websites and blog posts, and that's really what we're going to look at. So a couple months ago, maybe you saw it, there was the Wraith and the Reckoning drama that really took off when the author decided the best course of action to take was to go after somebody who just didn't like her book. And this is how I came across this whole subsection of things that is just Goodreads sucks and I hate Goodreads. She turned me on to this website called GoodreadsSucks.com. And I was recently looking for it again so that I could do this video, and it doesn't exist anymore. And this was used to defend the responses that she had to getting bad reviews on her book. And so then when I couldn't find that website, I found a bunch of these other people that were also commenting on how Goodreads sucks because they just don't like the people. They just don't like the readers. The biggest problem on Goodreads is the readers. Oh, I don't even know why I just did that. So before we get into it, I just want to share this image first, which I found while looking things up. Goodreads gives you a warning before you, as an author, before you go and you look at your negative reviews. So you really can't blame them for not trying to stop you from your own self-destruction. So here we have it, GoodreadsSucks.com. So they started this website because they hate Goodreads, and they also wrote a little book to go with this critique of Goodreads. Then it's funny that this website criticizing Goodreads starts out with, after seeing this booklet criticized severely on Goodreads for a month, it dawned on me there was one key issue that I didn't make clear. Goodreads is not your neighborhood book club. No, it's not. Interesting that that was the last thing to dawn. So the site says, this site is primarily intended to assist independent authors, known as indie authors in the publishing trade, especially new ones, navigate the dangerous shallows of Goodreads. I don't really think that that is the primary intended purpose of Goodreads. I was pretty sure it was a website with the primary interest of having kind of a huge library of books so you could, curate a reading list and you could leave reviews in just one big place. I thought Goodreads was for the readers, not for the authors. Usually review sites aren't for the creators, but they're for consumers. And why would this focus on indie authors and not all authors? Because traditionally published authors and comic book authors and everybody in between who writes a book will show up on there. I'm pretty sure there are even stage plays on Goodreads. So it's not just for indie authors. It might provide an established author with something to think about, but I would imagine most published authors, those with both paper and or electronic publications, have agents and legal advice to help them deal with the Goodreads and Amazon. Why do you need legal advice to deal with Goodreads and well, with Amazon, that's a seller, but with Goodreads, it just puts your book up there so people can talk about it. What else is there? Quote, all authors should realize that their relationship with Goodreads is adversarial. How is that? It's a review website. It says every published author should understand their work will end up on Goodreads database, whether they want them there or not. Once in the database, Goodreads members can review them along with a rating or without, or rate them without a review. There is no requirement to touch the book. Once your title is made available at an outlet like Amazon, Smashwords, iTunes, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, etc., Goodreads will find it and add it to their database within 2 weeks. So let's pretend that Goodreads doesn't exist for a second. If I saw your book and I wanted to review your book, I could take your synopsis and your cover and put that on my website. I'm not selling the book. In fact, if I link to your book, I might be doing it favors because then people can go buy it if they decide they want to read it. And usually, I think every time I've reviewed a book, when I was doing it in blogs, and then now when I do it in video, I always link to the book down in the comments below so people can find it. Now, am I always really nice? Well, do I like a lot of the books that I read? Do I like every book that I read? No, and I will still link to them even if I don't like them, because just because I don't like them doesn't mean somebody else won't. Or doesn't mean somebody else will. But I'm not going to lie and say that I liked it. I'm going to tell you my feelings on it. I'm going to tell you how it was written, and then I'm going to say, take your chance if you want to. I understand my opinion is not the end-all be-all in creative writing. Note to Goodreads members that are not authors, since this seems to confuse you. I like how condescending we automatically are to all the readers. This person is an author. Now, this website is huge, and I will link this archive in the description down below if you would like to read it yourself. I will also link straight to the book copy, because this is basically author versus Goodreads, which is why at the top it says brochure or whatever it says. But we're here mostly to investigate what the biggest gripe here is about Goodreads and what sort of solution this author has for that situation. Going down here to understanding Goodreads structure. Last time I checked in December of 2014, Goodreads was owned by Amazon. That alone should give you pause when considering giving any information to Goodreads. You are feeding Amazon's insatiable quest for book information and domination as a book seller. Oddly, there is no reference on the Goodreads website to this business relationship that I can find. If you are still determined to join Goodreads as an author, please do an internet search for information about the Goodreads reviewing bullying and Goodreads reviewer trolling. Always keep in mind you need to know some of this information if you come under attack by the review trolls on Goodreads. She says, valid reasons for an author to join Goodreads. I want to network with other authors. I'll meet authors who can give me perspectives on finding a publisher. I'll meet authors who use publication outlets other than Amazon and learn how to use them. Other authors can provide leads on editing services and beta readers. Other authors can give me hints on the marketing techniques that worked for them. Other authors can advise me about dealing with Goodreads trolls and review bullies. I feel like this is a different website that's being sought after. I know there's a forum on Goodreads, but the majority of Goodreads, as far as I know, is for reading and readers and the discussion of books, not necessarily for authors to network and get advice, though obviously there's a forum, so you can do that. But all of the giveaways and everything is from authors to readers. I don't remember ever seeing any giveaways on Goodreads that are like, here's a free edit from this, professional editor, or contests for winning. Like, I don't see, or contests for winning publication. I don't see those on the front page of Goodreads. I always see contests for submit to receive a book for free because the website is geared towards readers, right? She says, poor reasons for authors to join Goodreads includes, I think their review system will help market my book. I think a good venue to advertise my book. Goodreads launch packages are guaranteed to create buzz for my new book. Well, technically, if you attack reviewers, you're definitely going to make a buzz for your book. Is it the kind that will sell your book, though? Does the tried... Is that the word that I want? Saying that there's no such thing as bad publicity actually stand true if you go after people who didn't like your book. So really, when it comes down to any of these websites that don't like Goodreads or rants about Goodreads, it always comes down to the user base. They don't like the user base. They don't like hearing from readers. And we'll find that here as Zoe Desch outlines Goodreads' fatally flawed review system. The Goodreads review system is the most flawed book review system on the planet. It is nothing more than a beauty pageant that invites abuse. If you're joining Goodreads in hopes that a bunch of good reviews and high review averages will help market your works, don't join. What is truly amazing and breathtakingly hypocritical are the Goodreads guidelines, which begin with, Goodreads has some of the best book reviews anywhere. Our members are passionate, knowledgeable readers, and their contributions to the site are what make it such a vibrant and fun place. The guidelines are presented to help make sure Goodreads reviews. These guidelines are presented to help make sure Goodreads reviews remain the best and most authentic in the world. Now, is every review written by somebody who has, studied writing and literature and blah, blah, blah? No, because Goodreads is filled with the layman. There is a difference between regular readers that just read and the critic. And if you want the critic response, you usually have to pay for those. But even if you pay for them, and I guess that's really why they always get good reviews when you pay, because they want that. You know what I'm saying, right? She goes, book, all reviews are suspect. In addition, having a rating system that allows people to rate books without a review, for instance, books that are merely put on there wouldn't pee on it if it was on fire shelf with a rating of 1, and that counts as a review, is idiotic. I mean, I could do that on a personal website. I think the only thing that you're mad at is that Goodreads has traffic. More traffic than if I created my own website that would just be to trashing books that I've never read. Which I wouldn't do. That is such a waste of time. But I do give ratings to books on Goodreads that I don't give reviews to because I don't want to write a review for every book that I read. A lot of books that I read are not, they don't speak to me in any passionate way, passionate enough to write a review. And often, if they do speak to me passionately enough that I write a review, it's because they were so bad. Let me rephrase that. It's not because they were so bad necessarily. It's because I did not enjoy them so much that I have to share what the problems were that I had, especially if they were technical, especially if they were illogical. I have to go look at all of this mess, and they made me pay for this. I paid for this mess. Yeah. I know of no other outlet for books that allows a person to provide only a rating that counted in the book's review average. Pretty sure there are lots of them. And I'm pretty sure that Goodreads is not the only system on the internet that allows you to leave a rating without leaving a review. And I also highly suggest, if you feel very sensitive about Goodreads reviews, go and read some video game reviews on like Steam. And review bombing was a very, very big thing on Steam recently, and I think it still is kind of an issue. And a lot of things that there have actually been recommendations for Steam to help fix the review bomb when a company does something bad or a developer does something bad, that they allow users to rate the company or developer in addition to individual games. So say that a game did really, really well and it was really, really fun, but then the company went and kind of screwed a bunch of people over. You know, EA would have a super, super low rating for how they treat people, but then you could still rate the game really well. And so maybe that's your middle range, Miss Zoe Dashes. You allow Goodreads to let people leave ratings on your author page. Now that might get a little personal. I feel like it would not go over well with a lot of authors, actually. So where would you like to hit this line? New indie authors should be aware that there are quite a number of readers on Goodreads who will not read any book by an indie author. I was a bit surprised by this narrow-minded attitude when I joined several groups but some readers are quite adamant and vocal about it. Don't be surprised if you get some barbs thrown your way in those groups. Well, a lot of people have been hurt specifically by indie authors. Now, I'm not going to throw all indie authors under the bus because there are a lot of indie authors and no single person is, no people are the same. But you have to understand that if somebody is skeptical of indie authors, it means that they have had a situation in the past or multiple situations. And if you want to change their mind, then you can't go in treating them as if they are the scum of the earth for not wanting to read indie. You got to bring them to your side. You got to convince them to read your book. You got to convince them that you are different. And you don't do that by saying, I'm different, you're a bigot, read the indie published book. Bigot again, because it didn't get through. Convince them that you are different through your actions, through interactions, through the quality of your work. You know, make them trust you. Not by lying. A modest proposal to deal with troll attacks. If anyone, especially authors and those readers who take reviews seriously, want to fix the deeply flawed review system at Goodreads, I suggest we adopt the system used by the marauding troll packs that the website is nationally famous for. Is it? Is it though? When an author is carpet bombed with 1-star ratings and reviews that aren't reviews, PM me. I will buy your book and leave a glowing 5-star review of your book. What if you didn't like the book? Would you still give it a 5-star review? Isn't that kind of like, I don't know, fraud? How can you say let's fight this bad system on Goodreads with more lying reviews? At least my review will have a semblance of being legitimate because I will have at least opened your book and read your table of contents, although that isn't necessary according to Goodreads review guidelines. Then we will let the interested Goodreads member know that you are being trolled. Perhaps we would start with all of your Goodreads friends. I think that would delegitimize a book more. So, like, I'm not turned off when I see a book being targeted because I really don't let my opinions of the author taint the work. Oftentimes, I will also actually go and read the preview of the book to see what it's all on about, and to see what it's about and if I'm interested in the style. But if I go into the comment section and I see, a bunch of bad reviews, and then I see a bunch of positive 5-star reviews that say, hey, we're friends of this author and they're being trolled, I'm just not going to buy the book. I don't want to get mixed up between that unless I really, really am interested in the setup of the book and the quality in the preview. If there is a preview looks good, I'm just not going to buy the book if I've got friends versus whoever on Goodreads. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in reading about drama, not getting involved in actual drama. Perhaps we should start with all of your Goodreads friends, or perhaps we could develop a list of people who would like the abuse to stop, possibly from some of the authors' forums, if they're interested in fighting the troll attack. Yeah, so pretty much she just wants to do back what she is saying. She wants to fake good reviews. Ultimately, she does have some suggestions aside from fraudulent reviews. She does have some suggestions to fix the website. One of these suggestions: when a member creates an account, they are led through a number of steps to set their new account up. The first step should present the Goodreads review guidelines, which would include a statement that to review a book with a rating, the reader agrees that they have read the book. Include an accept/decline option with all commercial licensed softwares. If they decline, do not create the account and terminate the session. After all, Goodreads is a commercial software. This doesn't stop people from saying accept and then lying about reading the book, or not saying whether they read the book or not when they make their review, saying it's a bad book. Yeah, but that doesn't do anything. That's like saying, put a thing on the website that says you must be 18 years or older to enter this website. Do you accept that you are 18 years or older? Yeah, that totally stops people who are under 18 from going into those websites, doesn't it? Number 2, completely abolish the rating-only system. The ratings are meaningless except as popularity statistics for Amazon data mining. Actually, they're not. It also tells me which books I did or did not enjoy without having to write an essay about all of them. Why are you making one of my hobbies and something that I enjoy into work? I shouldn't have to write an essay about every book that I read that I do not enjoy. Maybe I just need to know, okay, I've read that, I did not like it. Because that is what the review system on Goodreads is. It's I like it or I don't like it, not is this good or is this bad. So that's one of the things that you do have to take into account when you're looking at Goodreads comments and reviews. They are from a subjective point of view of, do I like this? I would be so mad if that couldn't happen. I just want to know if I just didn't like the book. For any written review, add 2 mutually exclusive buttons that appear with the review. Read book or did not finish to confirm that the reviewer read the book or at least attempted to. The requirement for setting the button should be spelled out in the review guidelines unequivocally. Anyone proven to have selected book, read book, or did not finish when they didn't read the book should have all of their reviews removed. In many cases, especially troll attacks, how would you prove that they lied unless they straight up say, yeah, I didn't read that? If you're just kind of guessing that somebody didn't read it, or, in the case of The Wraith and the Reckoning, that author was accusing people of never having read her book or not trying to read her book because their interpretations of her book was different than what she had intended. And so she goes, oh, they got all of this wrong. They obviously didn't read my book. You're speculating. How would you know if somebody didn't read the book if they didn't say they didn't read it? Number 4, get rid of the mosh pit potential readers. It is useless information. The only members showing up on the review page should be read or is currently reading it members. Number 5, remove the comment section along with the like button from reviews. If Goodreads is going to treat the review as a literary work worthy of its own review, there should have been a dislike button. Another reason the comment section should be abolished is because it is only there for people who like the review, especially considering the authors do not dare say anything to the reviewers. Actually, the comment section is for other reviewers to talk to one another, or other readers to talk to one another. It is not for the author to respond to reviews and say, thank you for reading this, I'm glad you enjoyed it, or you're wrong, why are you ruining my life? Again, This is a website made for readers, but also, again, if you go in thinking that it's a website for authors, you're going to have a bad time when you interact and people are not there for you, because they're not expecting the authors to come out and talk to them on the thing. They're just talking about their book, their experience with the book, and to other people who have had experiences with the book that are not emotionally captured by the book, like you, mother of the book. Since it is Goodreads' policy to add every newly published book to their database and thus profit from them, they should attempt to contact authors and inform them their book is on Goodreads until an author claims their author page Goodreads should not allow reviews or ratings. No, because it's not for the author. Again, it's for the reader. The bottom line is Goodreads is for readers, not for writers. There are resources there to help writers because of the forums and the talk groups, but book reviews by readers are for readers. It's not a critique group. It's not a free marketing campaign where you just get to put your stuff out there and then everyone says how amazing it is and then you sell more books. That's not what a book review website is. And there's nothing that you can do to stop someone from disliking your book or saying they just don't like it. Never in a million years go after people who don't like your book, especially on a review website. That's how you make a bunch of book readers never want to support you, and readers do talk to one another. So I have at least 2 samples on this website of authors going after people who left unfavorable reviews, and I have my own story about it after I read Clown Tier Junkie, which is a Bizarro anthology, or a Bizarro collection with short stories. And I said that it felt like with the way the book was written, some of the stories that just cut off halfway and the author said, well, I'm done writing this, moving on to the next one. I've said I felt like the author was disrespecting the reader. And funny enough, the author responded to me on the website saying, haha, I still got your money, fuck you. So apparently my review was, or my intuition was not off. So be on your best behavior when you're on book review websites. But for the most part, and the only advice that really matters is if you can't silently observe the reviews, don't go looking for them. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you like this kind of content, like, share, and subscribe. Give me suggestions for what you would like to see me cover, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.